Hi there, everyone. I hope you're doing well. My name is Rina Hicks, and it's such a great pleasure to be here. I recognize that this has been a really tough season, and so wherever it is that you are, I hope that you're safe and okay, and that your family is doing fine. The one thing we cannot lose is hope, and so I want to continue to put out videos that will give you hope, will give you encouragement, will enlighten you on different things. For today's video, I want to be looking at commercial real estate, and it's been uncertain times for investors, for business owners, for even employees, and so we're going to be looking at commercial real estate and what's going to happen to our offices as we know them. I'm working from home for 6 days in a week. A lot of people are working from home permanently, others in shifts. So what's going to happen to the office as we know it? I'm curious about that. For people who own commercial spaces, what's going to happen? Are we going to have to slash rates, and what can we do to improve what we have, given the environment that we currently have? So those are questions I'm going to be asking. I'm at Garden City, beautiful development on Thika Highway. And I will be speaking to one of the directors here at Garden City. Now, the developers of Garden City have done amazing work, and not just here in Nairobi, but across Africa, that runs into billions of dollars. And so I think they're experts and the best people to speak to concerning commercial development. And so I have with me Ciru Okobi, who is a friend, who's a beautiful, amazing person, who's not just intelligent, but very smart, wise, and an expert in this field. So I think I brought you the best, and I am so excited to have her on this show. Hi, Shiro.
Hi, Rina.
Thank you so much for being here and enabling us to have this conversation.
Thank you for having me, and thank you for that wonderful introduction.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So first off, how are you? How are you doing in this season?
So I am doing well. 6 months in, it's been a roller coaster. It's been a great opportunity to take stock of my personal life, getting the opportunity to spend all this ample time with my family, with our families. We can't take that for granted. We're learning new skills at home. We're playing Scrabble and chess and just enjoying each other's company, which is something that I think we definitely lost sight of. Doing the best we can with the situation. That's where I'm at.
Yeah, which is great, because then that's the positive thing that has come from this, just being able to appreciate the smaller things in life, which actually are the most important for us. Before we go into the subject of today, I just wanted to find out, if you could just share who you are, your background, what you do here at Garden City.
Okay. I was born and raised in Kenya and went on to further my studies in the US, where I jump-started my professional career, and then moved back with my young family and continued a career in commercial real estate. I'm currently serving as commercial director at Garden City, where I provide oversight for Garden City Business Park, where we're seated today. We offer grade A office space. I'm fortunate to have EABL as one of our anchor tenants. Garden City also is home of our Garden City residences, where we have apartments and townhomes for sale and lease. And then also, finally, what we're all familiar with, the Garden City Mall, offering 100 plus stores, a range of entertainment and retail. Very fortunate to be able to just see and appreciate real estate across different markets.
I'm involved in a real estate company, and we do both a mix of residential and commercial. And it's just been really, really challenging. Real estate generally has been clobbered. And I just wanted to hear your views on what is going to happen in your view, and where are things right now as you see them in Kenya and East Africa? Let's just say Kenya.
I like that word, clobbered. It's a great description of what a lot of people have gone through and are going through. We are resilient people, and it's been proven time and time again. We are in a transitional phase, and we're faced with the challenge of having to adapt and adapt our business practices in response to the climate we're in, adopt new mindsets to allow us to overcome these challenges. I am hopeful. I love how you started off expressing that sense of hope, that we can meet the challenge.
Is the office as we know it obsolete? Is it going to sort of just disappear, and people will work from home and from co-working spaces, and the office as we know it is going to change? What's your view?
A lot of business functions require human interaction. require physical collaboration, innovation being one of them, functions where, people need to connect. It's not entirely feasible for people to work from home because of either capabilities, access to amenities that would support this remote function. We all have had moments when you're on that Zoom video call or whatever other platform, and the child in the background creating entertainment for the group. And also, you think about just general functions that can't work from home. Your manufacturing, in places like Nairobi, call centers don't have the capacity to work from home. So, no, office space will not become obsolete. There will be a continued need for space. I think what we're now looking at or seeing is how this space evolves and changes to meet our current needs.
Okay, so I hear you that offices will not become obsolete, and it makes sense. Like you say, there are certain, professions and roles and jobs that you can't even work from home. If you work for the government, there's no way that a lands office person will take files in the system home to work from there. So yeah, they have to go to the office, and I get that. How is it working here, and how's the business generally doing?
We've definitely seen a slowdown in office uptake, right? Understandably so, people not being able to travel, having tenants that are local and international, it makes it difficult to go through the leasing process if one can't travel. Yeah. Also, a lot of the restrictions we have in place, justifiably so, also have limited our ability to progress our pipelines. What does that mean for us? I think it gives us an opportunity to figure out what is going to be our new normal. The new normal, the normal office is evolving. So we need as landlords to be ready to meet those needs.
What are some of those needs?
The space has to be functional to meet a lot of the new requirements we have when we talk about social distancing. What measures do we have in place to ensure health and safety? A good example, Garden City Business Park has taken great measures to ensure that we are sanitizing to the level that's expected to combat this pandemic. We've put measures in place for social distancing, allowing for our tenants to schedule when their staff come in at different times of the morning, different times of the evening, so that you don't have all the staff coming in and leaving at the same time. Obviously, doing the thermal temperature checks, making sure there's sanitizer accessible at all points. We're very lucky that we had, from the onset, incorporated a lot of touchless technology. In our bathrooms, you don't have to touch the taps. We used to talk about green buildings. Garden City Business Park is a green building by nature of our IFC Edge certification. Okay. But now we talk about healthy buildings. And likely there's going to be a movement towards certification for like buildings, for healthy buildings. There's several engineering controls that need to be put in place to ensure a healthy building. Mm-hmm. You're talking about ventilation, whether it's natural or mechanical, to minimize transmission of diseases. We also talk about air quality, and we talk about flow. Can people flow in and out of the building or flow through the building with minimal contact? So that the concept of a healthy building is forefront in ensuring that our office spaces are safe and that people are actually comfortable coming back to the office space.
I'm curious about how Garden City as a business is doing and the kind of measures that you've taken to cope, and ride this wave, because it's just a wave, and eventually we will be able to get out of it. And so while we're here, how are things going?
As a mixed-use development, we are fortunate to be able to leverage all our assets. Our quick responsiveness to the climate has allowed us to study the course. From the onset, we created task forces that would stay abreast of the current situation, because we do employ a significant number of people, going to great lengths to retain staff, which understandably is very important during this time. And I think just working hand in hand with our stakeholders and partners, making sure we can limit any further adverseness in the situation.
I've been reading and doing a bit of research on how to be resilient as a business in seasons such as these, when you have a recession. And it was interesting to see that one of the things that companies like who had survived the recession of say 2007, 8, and sort of just rode the wave, were very good at being able to reduce costs quite quickly, reduce their debt if possible. As the wave was now ending, we're able to look at opportunities for investment. And I'm just wondering, at this point in time as a business, where you're at and what sort of decisions have you made to help you, kind of just be able to ride this and come out strong at the end of the day?
We've definitely, kind of what you've alluded to, looked closely into our cost structure. We've reviewed our service charge, for example, in collaboration with our tenants, to try and make sure that we can all survive. Yeah. It's pointless for the landlord to survive and then the tenant doesn't. Yes. So we all need to get through this together. So definitely there needs to be that joint effort.
Given where we're at also, and now that you mentioned tenants and landlords, what advice would you have for tenants?
My advice for tenants is, one, to stay informed, like we all need to. We need to take direction from our local health authorities. Following that, also assessing their risk, assessing the risk faced by their employees, by their staff. A business is nothing without their employees. That's the bedrock of any business. So assessing that risk, and then also creating a response plan to mitigate those risks. Those are, we talk about an emergency response plan, and it's maybe something that you have in writing somewhere. This is the right time to start enacting our emergency response
some of these things you kind of just write them down for compliance purposes, but you don't really think through. And so, like it would be when an emergency happens or when this situation comes, this is what we need to do. And I suppose that also requires frequent reviewing because things are changing so fast.
Correct, they are. We used to talk about quarterly, semi-annual, and annual goals. Yes. Now with these unprecedented times, it's a day by day, and we're in the same boat. Landlords also need to assess their risk, not just their staff risk, but also their building risk. Mm-hmm. What measures do they need to put in place to ensure that their buildings are healthy? Enacting whatever emergency response plans that they have in place. To support their tenants, to support their staff. Last but not least, and probably most importantly, is communication. There's a lot of facets to what is happening that requires continuous communication between landlord and tenant. So definitely having those avenues for communication. We're not in an office space, but do you have avenues for landlords, for your tenants to communicate freely and frequently with you?
This has been great. I've been speaking to Ciru Okobi. She is the commercial director at Garden City. And, she's just a guru in real estate, particularly commercial real estate. And so if you have any questions around commercial real estate, please go ahead and ask us, and we shall be sure to get back to you. Take care, and God bless you. Bye-bye.